that was a team that's supposed to be ready to win a Stanley Cup that didn't even really step on the ice. And I'm not just talking about when they were up 1-0 and they gave up 4 goals, including the empty netter at the end. I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking about the whole game. Where was the energy? Where was the combativeness? Where was the synergy? This team was absolutely a train wreck last night. Now they got themselves a series. Now they got themselves a whole world of problems. I watched the entire press conference with the coach last night. He seemed as confused as everybody. The building was dormant and dead. What happened to the Rangers?
They played a bad third period. I know he said it was more than just the third period, but it was really the third period where they didn't have that killer instinct. I'm not going to go nuts about it. Look at it this way, BT. This is the first time that this team has dealt with some real adversity here. They're going to be just fine. Now, Game 6, much like for the Knicks tonight, Game 5 is going to define their season. For me, Game 6 in Carolina is going to define the Rangers' season. They're going to mess around and come back for a Game 7 before ultimately putting them away, or are you going to show that killer instinct and go do it? It was disappointing because everybody was expecting a party. Everybody was expecting the Rangers to have handshakes at the end of that one and move on to the Eastern Conference Final, especially after being up 1-0. Then there's good reason to believe that. I mean, they won 7 straight postseason games, and the one game that they lost, they came back twice from 2-goal deficits. Last night was the worst postseason game that they've played by far, and third period specifically, the worst period that they've had in the postseason. It happens. Now they need to respond, but I don't think it's time to sound the alarms just yet. Although, at the world's most famous, all of a sudden, a week later, we've got some issues.
Yeah, no, it has definitely changed the entire tone. Now, there's definite, there's reasoning behind the Knicks stuff, and we'll incorporate both, obviously, tonight. I mean, oh, my God. I just want everybody to know what my partner is wearing right now. Can you stand up?
I'm game ready.
He is wearing, not only is he wearing a sweet white.
Nobody can see this.
Well, on Twitch they can see that, right?
Yeah.
He's got, and we'll get it up on Soch. He's got a sweet satin, like throwback, early 80s jacket.
Dude, this is like the Mitchell and Ness authentic Knicks warm-up jacket.
It's gorgeous.
With the Starks thing. It really is,
absolutely,
right?
it's
like,
sick. I love it.
I can't wear it all the time, but man, I love looking at it.
I love it.
The Starks authentic jersey and the shorts.
Wait, this is the best part, though.
Yeah.
Not only is he wearing Knick game shorts, he's wearing like the white tight spandex, like he's going out on the layup line in a couple of minutes.
Well, I mean,
this guy is ready to go.
I didn't want to show my pale legs at the moment.
Yes.
To get things. But yes, I mean, I'm fine.
At this point,
and then, dude, on the walk over here is like, hey, man, we're going to get him tonight. Go, Nick.
They probably say the ball boy's getting to the garden early tonight. I mean, geez,
like,
you set up the three-point
What is this idiot wearing?
And you put out Brunson sneakers yet? You get the ice bucket ready? My God.
Fired up. Hey, if they
whatever you need, we got you.
I'm fired up for the game tonight, but
me too.
Think about where we were a week ago where it was win.
Yep.
I need a break from all these losses. Friday loss, Saturday loss, Sunday loss, Monday loss.
That's true.
Nick's got to stop the bleeding tonight.
Well, they have to. I'm not so sure that they will because I'm terrified that Brunson's just not fully right. Know that OG's not playing. I don't think OG plays the rest of the series. But hold on a second. Back to New York Rangers for a minute. Now, you said that everybody was kind of expecting a party, and maybe some people are a little presumptuous in, the Rangers step on the ice last night. All right,
well,
Carolina
they go up 1-0.
Understood. Carolina had their fun. They bounced back, so they avoid the sweep, but the Rangers get it done at 5. I understand that there's a big difference between dealing with it, being dealt your first real dose of adversity, and then how you respond to it. No, listen, I'm not saying the season's over for the Rangers. I'm not saying that at all.
Right.
But there's also a fine line between really what I perceive, and I don't think I'm alone, a virtual no-show. Will you shoot the puck?
Yeah, I know.
Can you shoot the puck?
The power play was awful, and that is alarming. And look, no power play is going to be perfect, but we're talking about a team to try to win the Stanley Cup. So for that to happen, you have to have the great goaltending, and you have to have great special teams. And the Rangers special teams last night, the power play, the penalty kill again scored. They scored another shorty, which is unbelievable. They've been dominating while they're shorthanded. Can they score 5-on-5 or on the power play? That's been the issue. But my biggest concern, and you touched on this, would be the effort or lack thereof in the third period.
That's inexcusable. That's unacceptable. And that is not emblematic of a team that's getting ready to win a Stanley Cup. I'm sorry. You step on it's not like it's 3-zip and you've won every game 5-1 and you step on the ice like a zombie because you just think in your own mind, you get off the bus, you put the uniform on, you're going to destroy whoever's in front of you. First of all, going into last night, this series could have very easily been 2-2.
Right.
It could have been 3-1 the other way. It's like the Rangers are dusting Carolina. They're getting outshot.
Well, Carolina's good.
And Carolina's very, very, very good, which means, the Ranger fan now has a serious problem for a couple days here.
They do. This is the first real angst or real adversity that the Rangers will face, but this is what happens in playoff series. Now, they have to respond, and they have to respond in a big way. They cannot lay an egg in any period in Carolina because that's going to result in a loss. Carolina is that good. So we'll see what Laviolette can do. Now, I believe in them. I think they're going to get a win in Game 6, but Shesterkin's got to be himself. Power play's got to be clicking. Panarin's got to show up. Zibanejad's got to show up. These guys got to do their jobs out there. You could have a bad game or a bad period. It happens.
Yeah.
You have to go out there and respond. Here's the one reason that I would be concerned if I'm the Rangers or a Ranger fan. Carolina believes that they can come back and win the series.
So does Vegas, by the way, before last night.
Most teams that go down 0-3, they don't believe.
Like the Capitals.
Yeah, well, right. All right, we'll fight and maybe take a... Carolina believes, and there's good reason to believe it. They were second behind the Rangers. They did play close games even in the first 3 losses in this postseason. They believe they can come back. That's dangerous. And the Rangers let their foot off the throat. Now they've got to fight here. But I just think they're the better team. I think ultimately they're going to win. They get the better goaltender. They get the better players. They just have to go out there and do it. But we didn't need this aggravation on top of what's going on with the Knicks. We didn't need this.
I think that they're better as well, but I think that they're marginally better. And when you're the marginally better team, suddenly you lose momentum. Momentum is gone. And, now what's going to happen is if Carolina wins the next game, you're going to step on that home ice Game 7, and you know who's going to be tight? Not Carolina, the Rangers.
Right.
The Rangers will be tight.
It can't come back to Game 7.
Well,
I'm not saying they can't win a Game 7.
Yep.
This series, you're up 3-0. You cannot see Game 7.
I agree, but don't you kind of get the sense that they're going to? I do. I don't think they're going to win in Carolina.
I think they're burying Carolina.
They haven't buried them once.
Well, I don't mean bury them as far as 5-1. I mean bury them as far as get the win. See you later. Handshake. You guys are going home. We're going to the Eastern Conference Final. Hey, look, that's what champions do. It's not easy, but that is what champions do. BT, go close it out. Yeah. It feels like, oh no, how are they going to win a game on the road? But they're good. As a matter of fact, they're great. They won the President's Trophy throughout the course of the year. Go do it down there. You gave your bad game. You lost the game at home. Get that out of the way. It's been 2 straight adversity. Laviolette's been here before as a head coach. He knows what he's doing. They have the horses. They have the goaltender. Go do it. I think that they will. Ultimately, they're just better. By the way, one quick note before we move on here and take some of the calls. Can Rimpey do something? You're on the ice. D'Angelo is hitting you from behind. Turn around and knock him out. My goodness,
that's
what is
the guy
point
that you got. That's the guy that we've been talking.
He let Wilson get away with it, and then last night again with D'Angelo. If you're going to be out there, even at the end of the game, do something. My goodness, what is Rempe doing? Everybody loves Rempe. I'm starting to get antsy, BT.
A little desperation here setting in.
Knicks could be down 3-2 tonight. Rangers up 3-2 going to Carolina. You don't know what's going on.
Oh, boy.
We were comfortable a week ago. Now we're in trouble.
Well, this is the general flow of what so far has been a fantastic and riveting run for both the Knicks and the Rangers. And I think most of us think the Rangers go further. The Knicks, and I know that the Knicks don't tap into this because they're too much of that warrior mentality. They're not going to feed into we're banged up. They just adapt the next man up philosophy, and that's why we love them. Rangers different. Rangers played awful last night. Rangers didn't look inspired. Rangers looked emotionless. They looked like they took it for granted, and now they left open the door, and Carolina might kick it in. They might. 877-337-6666. BT and Sal here on The Fan. We are inside of our Town Fair Tire studio. Our friends at Town Fair remind you that you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Yep, the tone has switched, and both teams, Andrew and Scarsdale with BT and Sal. What's up, Andrew?
Not a great morning. Collective failure last night. Building dead, team dead. Opportunity to step on the Canes' necks, and they completely blew it. And I'm concerned. I'm not terribly surprised they lost Game 4. I get it. Desperate Carolina team. Last night, completely different story, and I'm worried. I wasn't worried before. I don't have a good feeling about this, about the rest of the series.
Well, they played one bad game, Andrew. I mean, what, they're not allowed to play a bad game or have a bad period? They won 7 straight postseason games. They lost the game on the road by a goal, a late goal. They came back from 2-goal deficits twice. All right, now they have a bad game. Maybe they coasted through it. Maybe they thought being at home was going to, give them the win. I don't know what was going on with the Rangers last night, but it was one bad game. You're going to get worried off of that as opposed to what they've put on tape the entire year and in the postseason?
In this scenario, yeah, because they had an opportunity to, like I said, step on Carolina's necks last night, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah. I kind of see it the same way. I'm not saying, again, that the Rangers won't advance, but I do think this thing comes back to the Garden. But, Sal, let's distinguish between a bad game and a virtual no-show. Like, if the Rangers were last night, flying around, but maybe were a little bit too aggressive, took some dumb penalties, maybe, at least shooting the puck. I mean, they weren't even shooting.
Yeah.
And they were, they were peppering the net, but save after save after save. But they lost because they were either too wound up or overly aggressive, or they just got out of sync a little bit. That's one thing. That's a loss. But it's not a bad loss necessarily. Last night, the Rangers didn't look like they knew how to close anybody out.
Right, and the problem is their opponent wanted it more. So when Carolina is hungry, the team that's down 3-1, fighting for their lives, when they outskate you, when they outplay you, out-hustle you, outwork you, all those different things, the Rangers then need a wake-up call. This is not just because you've been the best team or because you have a big lead in the series, you're going to go out there and win the game. You've got to earn it, and they did not earn anything last night. They looked like they wanted no part of it. Matter of fact, once that first goal happened from Carolina, the Rangers went the other way. As opposed to responding like they've normally done in this postseason, they went the other way. They've got to show that they want it more than Carolina, at the very least, as much as Carolina, and I'm not so sure that, well, it definitely was not the case in Game 5.
Nope, they could not stop Stahl, and right now they have zero momentum. Danny's in Eastchester. Danny, BT and Sal, what's happening, buddy? How are you?
How you guys doing? Big fan of the show.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dan.
Terrible night last night with the Ranger game, but last time this team went into a hole, they bounced back with getting 11 wins in February, I believe it was, and I think they bounced back and take Game 6.
Yeah, I'm with you, Danny.
They better.
All this team has done, we talk about believing in the Knicks and their energy and their fight and their hustle. And again, I know it's different with the injuries, but still, okay, the Knicks go through some adversity. They've bounced back every single time this year. So why wouldn't you believe that they do it again, assuming that they could overcome some of the significant injuries that they've been dealt here on top of everything else? With the Rangers, the same thing. There's no reason to panic. This is not last year's team. Now, last night resembled last year's team or years past. Are they going to fold up? I'll tell you, I mean, if they lose this series, there is going to be hell to pay all around. It's like everything's going to have to be blown up here and reevaluated. And I don't believe that they're there. I still believe in this team. It was one bad game. They're still up 3-2. Go there and close them out. Some of the comments, though, BT, from some of the players last night.
I watched the whole press. I watched it all.
I'm not worried about Laviolette. I
don't think he projected a great message. I know he doesn't want to reveal too much. I know he doesn't want to bury his guys. And a few times he was asked about, execution, and then he basically said, well, it wasn't just that, which is his way of saying we were soft and we didn't show up without burying his team, guys by name. I get that.
Right.
But I don't know. He didn't seem as resolute to me as I would want a coach to project when you just got rocked in a 7-minute span.
And I didn't like some of the players saying, well, this is a good team. If you told us we'd be up 3-2 coming in the series. Yeah. So this could, I don't like that.
That's what I'm saying.
This could go two ways. One, the Rangers feel the pressure and in their minds start to lose confidence and realize that Carolina's really good and they're going down to Carolina and maybe start to feel the weight of blowing a 3-0 lead, which is real. Those are real things.
That's creeping in already.
Or they say, bleep this. We were the best team in the league all year. We played one crappy period, one lousy game. Let's respawn and go bury them in their house. Which one are you? One is the attitude of champions. The other is the attitude of losers. Which one are the New York Rangers? We're going to find out in Game 6.
I think you positioned that well. 877-337-6666. BT and Sal on the Fan. Yeah, I mean, a roller coaster here. We're going up, going down, going up, going down. Hopefully it starts back up tonight.
We lose last week.
Oh, dude, it's crazy. It's the exact opposite. All right, so let me ask you this.
I don't like all these games when we're losing. Every night it's a loss.
This
right?
No, but he's wearing a full Knicks uniform. I know I already said that. I love it. All right, so let me ask you this before we get back to the calls here, Sal. We can't predict bad calls, bad bounce of the puck, so we got to push that aside for a moment. Do you have just inherently based on the coach, the roster, the disposition of both teams, that the New York Knicks tonight or the Rangers tomorrow? That's tomorrow, right? Yes.
Thursday.
Thursday.
Finally get an off day tomorrow.
Yeah, get an off day there. That the Knicks tonight or the Rangers, Knicks at home, beat up, or the Rangers on the road in 2 days, mentally beat up, who gives you the better, more representative effort of who they are?
I don't like that question.
That's a good question.
I know,
It's
but
the best question of the day so far.
I got to tell you,
I want your answer.
The Rangers. I believe in the Rangers more. Only because the Knicks
enough, dude. I
know, but I hate saying that. Look at me. I'm wearing the Knicks uniform.
Good.
But the Rangers
Number 3,
Hey, I'll tell you this. I'd D-up McConnell. I'd be putting my elbow in his face.
You would be McConnell.
I'd get run over. I understand it, but I'd go right after him.
There's Brunson, left side, pump fake over to Sal. McConnell lets it go for 22. Good. McConnell buries it. He's got 15 so far.
It wouldn't be lack of effort. I can't shoot. I can't dribble, but I can defend. At least I'll try.
We know you can yap.
Yeah,
we know you can do that.
Here's the thing. The Rangers have been better.
I know.
It's not a knock on the Knicks.
I know it's not.
And the Knicks are depleted. Now, I do think, but I say this in truth. When I say this truthfully, I do think the Knicks are going to win tonight. I admit that a part of it is hope. A part of it is hoping that Brunson is healthy enough to get the 40, 45 that he's going to need.
Come on, Jalen.
So a part of me acknowledges that it might just be a fan in me hoping that that's the case, but I want to believe that. I truly believe the Rangers are beating the Canes in Game 6. I just think they're too good a team.
Okay, let me get, how about Omar in Brooklyn with BT and Sal? Omar, what's happening? You should get it revved up even more.
Okay, first thing about Sal, I got to tell you. Sal, the truth is that you are on the Rangers bandwagon because you put on an Islander uniform.
Oh, God, here you go.
The Rangers fans are all over you, and now you want to protect it.
Yeah.
Because at home, 4 games yesterday, the massacre that was mentally on your Madison Square Garden, I am still feeling the fact that the Knicks have to play at Madison Square Garden because what the Rangers flattened it out last night.
Ooh.
So I'll have to gear up all my energy for the Knicks to do that, and they already are mentally, physically depleted, and they have to cheer up all the fan base what the Rangers
blame the Rangers for the Knicks already losing a Game 5 that they haven't even set foot on the floor.
I just hope they fumigate the building, but keep going, Omar.
Now come to the reality here. Here it is. The mental aspect of the Knicks, I think whatever happened in Game 4, they got a thrashing, and the mental part of it after the game, every press conference, they're asking again and again, Brunson, what about the foot? He said, I'm okay. That's what I want my champion, my caliber, my leader to say it. Brunson ready to erupt tonight.
Yeah.
Making the Knicks fan.
How many? How many? 41. How many?
Blowout. The Indiana Pacers will get blown out of the building tonight.
Attaboy, Omar.
I like it.
Okay. All right.
We'll get more of the, we talked about it. Brunson's going to need 40-plus. I agree with that. I can see the Knicks winning. I just don't have as much confidence in them in this series as I do with the Rangers. I really do.
Listen, here's how I would answer the question that I asked you. I think the Rangers are undeniably better. Like, the Rangers are closer to being the best team in the NHL if they're not. Well, got a couple of heavyweights out west, but and even next round in the East would be very tough if they get there. But I think they're closer to the elite in the NHL than the Knicks are in the NBA. I feel that way. I believe that the Knicks will play their asses off tonight.
Right.
And depending upon Jalen's health, that's the determining factor. But while I know the Rangers are more talented, last night gives me pause. It was so inept and so without emotion and resistance that was unacceptably awful. And it's making me almost, not fully, but kind of rethink, all right, do these guys have the chops to be champions?
Yeah. Well, they're going to have to go out there and prove it. At some point along the way in the postseason, you have to prove it. You're going to hit adversity. You got to respond. For them, it's going to be Game 6. I don't know about you, BT.
Yeah.
I'm stressed out.
Yeah,
I could use a drink.
We're going to start banging them back today? Now?
Guess what? Little bet's going to be paid off.
I know it is, but can we start hammering them back on the air?
I think anything's a go. Boss said drink responsibly. Surfside is in the building, BT.
We will pay off the bet coming up. That goes back to the Knicks Sixers. BT and Sal, 877-337-6.